Hey everyone, welcome back to Automation. So today we're going to be making the Owl RS. Now we have a bit of a problem here, and that is because the Owl, as it is already very good. This is what the Owl currently looks like. I've already renamed the engine and the variant, but this is what the Owl currently is. It's 1,086 kilos, 633 horsepower, like a very high revving 2.4 liter V16 twin turbo as well. Now the original intent for this car was to model the Group C, well, specifications to a rough degree. It's obviously not perfect, and it did quite well at that. In fact, it was the fastest car in the Autoflux games by a decent amount, and definitely one of the better rounded ones as well. I mean, that's how you get first place. So the building portion of this video might not be as significant as usual just because it's already very good and I don't want to change it too much. I don't want to ruin what makes it good, but we will do some visual tweaking. We'll probably try and squeak a little bit more power out of it, and then we'll do a lot of comparison testing later on, so look forward to that. So I will say before I get started that I added the join button to the channel. Basically what that gets you, I've made two tiers. One of them is supporter, the other one is advanced supporter. If you are a supporter, your name goes in the credits, and if you're an advanced supporter, your name goes in the credits, and I will say your name as a thank you at the end if that's something you're interested in. I'm only going to say it just this once, but yeah, if you notice credits at the end of the video, that is what that's for. Okay, back to the build. Alright, so immediately one thing that I do want to do is I think we need to change the color. Now the color for this car is quite good already. I really like the way it looks, but I think the visual tweak is always necessary when we do this, and there are a few other issues that we need to fix. Just some artifacting here with the stickers, and there's this persistent gap right there with the vent, and then this one is basically non-existent. So we'll fix those things, and we should be able to change up the styling. Alright, just testing something out. If we go automation red, ooh, that does not match with the blue at all, but I don't mind the red. I think what we can do though is just come up with our own custom color. Now, what color it could be, I am not sure. We will end up doing a car in this color with a similar body style to this in the future. Okay, after a bit of messing around, and I know that this is a very common thing so far in this series, but I'm gonna make it black. And now so far the San Andreas remake has been black, and I know that I can't make every car black, but I don't know, it just looks good. And what I think I'm going to do as well is I'm going to swap all the decals for their red counterparts. So it'll be just a little bit different. Okay, there we go. So the color transformation is complete. It's pretty simple, it doesn't need to be complicated. I'm going to make the wheels a different color though. However, again, I'm not sure what color that's going to be. Alright, all I did was just lighten up the gold a little bit. I think that's going to work. Now, one thing that is kind of a funny issue on this car is that its mirrors fall off and flop around a ton, so I'm taking those off. What I'm going to do instead is just put some smaller ones over here. I've been researching Group C cars quite a bit today, and some of them do have them right here, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, they're kind of useless because you probably wouldn't be able to see anything just because the wing is right there, and the wing is also quite large. So let's quickly fix this issue here. So there's a bit of a dent in this fixture, this vent here, and it's kind of odd. I don't know why it would do that, so I'm going to try and swap. Oh, okay, I guess you can see it a lot more clearly with a solid thing there. It's very weird though, I don't know why it would do that. Layer differences? I'm not sure. I like that vent there, but I don't like that thing there. We might not be able to fix that though. Alright, I fixed the vent in the back. I just made it bigger and changed the screening in this also, although apparently it doesn't want to look as closed as it normally would. I don't know why. Again, there is not much that needs to be done on this car, it's just the small things. However, I think the back could use a little bit of work. It definitely is empty back here, and I think I'm going to do what I've been doing a lot. Again, a big vent in the back. It just makes sense for these race cars. It's like, I don't know, it just race cars with big back vents. It's just how it's supposed to be. And I'm going to swap out this back piece that is here for a proper splitter. Which one though? I don't know yet. We'll just have to experiment with each of them and figure it out. I tend to use these ones quite often, and that's just because I like them. Goodness, it does not want to go though. And we'll make this one body colored as well. We'll just have everything like blacked out. Yeah, that's not bad actually. That's a pretty decent way to fill up the back. I'm kind of happy with the way that that looks. Now the owl symbol is fine, but I think what needs to happen here is it just needs a little extra, just a number or something. See, I've made it RS, so we'll just put a small RS here. Just like that. Just nice and simple. Owl RS. I think that's pretty much perfect there. Note one thing though that we may want to consider doing is swapping the spoiler. Now the big table, I'm just going to move it up there temporarily because I don't want to lose it because it's already quite good. But it seems like my mods have finally come in. We have got a few choices. Oh boy. Alright. Well, I never said that they were all good choices, but we do have options here. Oh, that is actually a very interesting thing. What about... I don't even know what these are supposed to be. And as always, I'm wanting to try out this one here. This is the one that I've been using for a lot of cars. I don't think the splitter actually makes any sense. It would just be this piece. But it's just so large. I think we might have found the perfect spoiler with the first one that we have. That's too bad though. It seems like these other options just won't work for it. Yeah, that one's just too good. It's too perfect. Alright, cosmetically not much has changed, but there are a few other things that I do have that we can play with. Now, this is a turbo car. We could put intercoolers on it. However, they're probably not going to show as with most things. We could make these just a hole like this, and then we could put intercoolers behind it though. That could be interesting. Okay, plan minor failure. So if you put it behind like that, it just goes straight through it, which is obviously not a good thing. So we'll get rid of that and maybe try it some other time. One thing that I did not have before that I have access to now is sponsorship. We can definitely add a few sponsors on. Now that the Owl has won a competition, the sponsors are going to be after the manufacturer. They want to sponsor this thing. Alright, we got Max Grip sponsorship down here. And we're going to need another one up on the side, I think. Who should we be sponsored by? Probably Coma. Obviously, we need a PlayStation sponsorship here, the Pro Station. What's a sponsorship without a Gran Turismo sponsorship? Coma will always be my main sponsor of choice here, just because it's hilarious. And what else? We probably could use a few more just here and there. There's nothing on the back yet, although there isn't much room on the back now that I look at it. Maybe down here. Brembo, but not Brembo. That works for me. And we'll put a YouTube on there as well. We'll mirror that. Seems like a good spot for it. Oh, apparently I forgot to mirror this though. Now, mirroring them does have consequences. They are going to be reversed on the side that I did not place them on, but I think that's kind of just part of the deal at this point. Alright, looks-wise we might be done. I think maybe we could change up the wheels. I do like the way these ones look, but just for the sake of the RS version, we could change it up. These are the ones that it currently uses. But we could go for something else that's spoked like that. Actually, these ones right here are very similar and not bad. Like, this is the original, that's the change, so pretty decent. I think that makes for a perfect RS. Alright, now let's go back here. Again, I don't want to change things too much, and I can't without swapping the engine, so what I'm going to do, you can see we have a pretty reliable car. I just want to tweak things just a little bit to see how much it changes, so if we go up here with that, we can probably raise the fuel a little bit to compensate, and that was like 3 horsepower gain. Probably not worth it, but it's something. Advancing the timing is not helping. Just small little tweaks here and there, not really doing much. Like, this was tuned quite well before. I think the only way we can get any more power is really just by forcing it, just by raising the fuel. And also, oh yeah, I mean, we can get more just by raising the fuel by itself. So the tuned version, it looks like it's going to hit about 650, which is 20 more horsepower. Not actually that bad. Just as an experiment, I'm gonna I've raised the fuel all the way up, and I'm just gonna raise the compression up as well, and see if we can match. Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Okay, it's going back to the way it was. I think I hit 650 something. Oh yeah, there's the power. Come back to me, power. I believe this was around here, and that means compression was lower as well. Hopefully I didn't mess up the engine. There we go, 654. That sounds a lot more reasonable. There we go, 658, even better. So a gain of about 30 horsepower just from a slight tune, and I think that's going to be decent. We don't want to do too much to that. Okay, on to the wheels. Now, back in these days, I didn't pay too much attention to the graphs. This car is like right on the edge, so we can probably tune this a little bit better. The wheel size, maybe we can get away with a little bit bigger wheels possibly, just for the RS version, just to make it a little more interesting. And you can see these are falling right in there, but we can do a bit better than that. If we lower the front wheel size, they sort of fall into place. Yeah, just like that. So we raised the front wheel size a little bit and lowered the front a little bit, and now they're like pretty much in line, which is good. Just that small little tweak has helped things out, hopefully. Now the brakes, again, this is about the same time when I was doing this. I'm gonna lower down the pad type significantly, but what I'm going to do to compensate for that is raise up the size of the brakes, which means that they'll vent a lot easier, and that should make them stop better. I mean, theoretically at least. Like you can see down in the graph, we're stopping basically in 6.3 seconds. We might be able to do better than that. I mean, we could just go for this and then go for that, and I guess just put ABS on it and pray that it stops, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. Like, I made the mistake one time of having a car that was, let's say, a little bit too powerful in terms of the brakes, and it was with this body in the past. I just made the brakes as good as they could be, and I assumed that would be decent, but evidently it was not. That's just a little bit better there. I like having the pad type down, but the brake actual disc size bigger. It just makes more sense. Now aerodynamics, I think we've done pretty much all we can with this one. The front wing angle is a little bit low, but that's going to be fine. We'll increase this so that it stops a bit easier. And as usual with this, so higher interior quality lowers weight, so we're going to raise that up. Safety and quality and such will mess with these, so we'll have that up and we'll have this down, so it should make a bit of a difference. Wheel spin issues, uh-oh, what happened? Okay, 62%. I don't remember there being wheel spin issues. I guess that's just the price you pay. It is a touch faster, so we can raise that up. Okay, I've just realized, apparently hydropneumatic suspension is incredibly not sporty, so we're going air suspension. We're going to switch to adaptive, and we'll go for a race preset again, which hopefully will change things up with the car a little bit. Like, generally speaking, it's still going to drive pretty much the same, but now it's on a totally different suspension type, so it should be better. But I think that's going to be it. We've just lost a bunch of weight there. It is going down in weight, going up in power, just as an RS version should. This is the Group C Owl RS. Same V16, just tuned. I think it's good for the track. Let's give it a shot. Alright, so this is what the Owl RS looks like in Beam after being exported. I think the rims came out a little bit shiny, but it's not terrible. It seems the decals orange came out a lot more orange. I was trying to base the rim color off of that, but anyway, my fault there. I think it turned out pretty decent, even with some backwards inverted logos, I mean, but I like the way it looks. I think I maybe could have made the back area here a little bit different, just by changing the mesh to be something else, but I'm just glad it matches the other stuff up there. So it looks pretty much the same as the original Owl, which is right over there, but I think we'll find that it does perform just a little bit better. Hopefully with the different suspension, a little bit more power and such, it can actually do a bit better, but let's just take them both for a drive and see what it's like, at least on the grid map. Oh yeah, here we go. V16 power time. Let's do it. Well, the Owl RS feels like the Owl. That is a good thing for sure. With its new and improved brakes, it can definitely stop pretty well. I'm not sure about heat, I don't have the graph up, but yeah, that's not bad. Alright, let's just continue around the block here, just doing the usual route that I usually go. But I think that we've got something good on our hands. Again, not a significant change, but changes in the right places can make a car a lot better. Sometimes you don't need to swap out the engine, or do anything crazy to it when it's already good enough. Sometimes it just needs a special edition or two to get it to a place where it really needs to be. And I think that's what we've got with this car. I'm liking it. So just as a quick comparison, here is what the original Owl is like. Oh yeah, here we go. Goodness, it feels exactly the same. Actually, not much different. Hard on the brakes with this car. It definitely does have good stopping power. Theoretically, the handling should be better on the new one. It should be less into the oversteer category. Even with the all-wheel drive, you can see the mirrors bouncing up and down as they did. But this is in no way a bad car. It's definitely one of the best ones that I've made in terms of overall capabilities. And its durability isn't bad either, as we found out in the Rhino crash test, but there we go. I think it's time that we took these out to the track to see what we can do with them. Alright, first things first, let's go way back, all the way to Season 1 when I was testing out cars like the Trophy Truck, the Disco Puck, the Panther 3X12. We're going to take on that track. It's the West Coast USA Long Race Circuit 1. First things first is the Owl, and then second will be the RS. We'll see which one gets a better time with one lap. Alright, so we are in with the Owl. Let's give this one a shot here on the West Coast map. This is not the race circuit that I thought it was, but this is still one that I've done before. I believe this was the one that was used in the Autoflux game Season 1, but let's give it a shot with this car. So to make things fair, I will switch it up. In the next one, I plan on doing 2 races in this video, so we'll do this one and we'll do another one, and what I'll do is I'll switch between the RS and the original Owl for which one goes first, just in case it's a skill issue, like once I learn the track I'll do better type thing. So far we are oversteering pretty significantly. I was cooking it way too much going into that one corner. The brakes are heating up quite a bit. They got pretty hot there. Let's check around this corner. Yeah, over almost into the red there, so I want to see what it's like with the other Owl, to see if it's any different, to see if my theory that it's better is wrong or not. And now I know this track has a significant straight. That was a pretty significant drifting moment there, but this has a pretty significant straight here, and I think we'll be able to get up to some decent top speed, but I want to watch to see what it is. Before we stop, let's say that was 264 at that checkpoint, and I know from experience that you do have to stop pretty quickly up here, so whew, the brakes are starting to smoke. Yeah, so far a pretty scrubby lap, nothing too crazy. Yikes, not really representing Group C too well. Oh, okay, I'm gonna redo it. Alright, things are going a lot better this lap. No drifting moments, and a lot faster corners as well. Not so much watching the speed as I was before, but just trying to be careful with this. I want to make sure to get through this lap properly. However, we are definitely getting hot on those brakes. ABS is definitely nice because I can really slam on it if I need to, but it's not going so well for them, and I'm very glad that I upgraded them. However, one thing that I did not upgrade was the exhaust. Now, the issue there... Oh, I forgot about this corner. Yeah, we gotta make sure to do that one properly. But the issue there is, for some reason the exhaust doesn't route from the V16 to the side pipes. It just comes straight out the back, and it just kind of goes out underneath. I probably could have fixed that, but I didn't, so whoops. We'll see if it actually still persists with the new model. So the Group C Owl 1.0 was able to do it in just over 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes .775 seconds. Okay, let's go on to the RS version. Alright, here we go with the RS. Or it could be called the Black Edition as well. Too many cars that I've been making have been black, but I don't know, I just like black cars. Might be a bit of a weird thing, but anyway, here we go. Taking off, it doesn't feel much different. I think this car, it's probably just me, but it has a slight rasp to it. I don't know if that's actually a founded thing or not, or if I'm just dreaming, but it seems like it. So far it feels very much the same as the Owl. I guess that's to be expected. However, the driver is still bad. No difference there. Alright, so that was a little bit better. Basically I just redid that whole section again just because it felt way too scrubby. I want to be fair with this one, so I'm not going to be redoing it if I make any like very small mistakes, but anything huge, like this is almost borderline redoing just because I'm kind of cutting the corner. But for now, I'll just leave it. If the time is significantly different, then I'll know that that's something I need to reconsider. But so far, so good with the Owl RS. You can see that the brakes are nowhere near as hot as the others, so I think that that was a good thing to do, to make them bigger and make the pad type different, at least on the more comfort end. And we have hit a slightly higher top speed. We went up to 269 there instead of 264, but that's pretty insignificant. I mean, percentage-wise, when you have 630 horsepower and you go up to 660, it's not that much different percentage-wise. So I guess we can expect very small gains in that regard. I was just hoping more with the chassis tweak and the suspension tweak as well, that we'd be able to go faster. It seems like we will, though. It seems like we are going to have a really quite significant increase if we can get to the finish line in time, that is. Oh, 153, it looks like it's going to be faster by about 4 seconds. 4.3 seconds to be more exact. Goodness. So we have learned, based on that testing, that the new Owl is about 4.37 seconds faster on that track. That's very rough as well. I would definitely have to do it a few more times to really get it. For the next track, we're going to be going to the Hirochi Raceway. We're going to take the medium race circuit on, and we'll see what we can do with this. And as promised, we'll be switching over to the Owl RS as our first vehicle. Alright, here we are in this Hirochi Raceway. Let's give the 2.0 or the RS a go. Let's see what this one will do. It should be decent once again. However, I haven't driven this track for a while, so I'm gonna try to keep it, well, on the track. Let's see though. Now I remember that this one has a few leggy areas just because of its trees. Hopefully that doesn't affect things anymore. I mean, I updated my graphics drivers, so please. My graphics card has kind of been dying lately. There have been some black artifacts on the screen at times, so hopefully that doesn't show up in the actual video. We'll see though. Alright, we're coming down to this very slow section. I have not forgotten this. I believe that this is the track that we used for the Season 2 cars, which means the Owl should actually have an official time on here as well. So we'll be able to compare my old driving to new driving, and, well, maybe a little bit more practice. Alright, this car is very composed, as the Owls always are, it seems. I'm liking this Group C though. It seems like we need to make another one to compete with it, because honestly I'm not sure what's going to actually beat it. It's just too good. And we're about to cross the finish line here with a 127.28. So that puts it, wow, up into third on the leaderboard. If we just quickly check, so the Saint Ultra R is above that, and the Bimero 3.0 is above that. Below it is the old Group C Owl's time of 2:29, but we're going to run it again just to see. But goodness, that is 2 seconds faster than my original Group C Owl time from April. So let's give it another shot. Alright, here we go with the original Owl, just giving it another go to see how it compares to its time from before. Now this time should be better, I hope, just because I did already go around the track once already with a very similar car. However, this Owl does handle differently, and I can feel that more now than on the previous track. It is a little bit less composed, I think, a little bit more skiddy, requiring a little bit more handbrake as well to get around some of these corners, which is unfortunate because it does take off speed when you do that. But being in third place is not, well, it's hard to do when the competition is so stiff on that leaderboard. However, ooh, off into the sand a little bit. Oh no, that's not a good way to do it. Alright, we're gonna go hard here, full acceleration. I'm still using the arcade gearbox, by the way. I know I had said before that I would been trying to change, but I keep forgetting to change, and now I'm locked in my ways. Alright, let's keep it up. Getting around some of these corners. A little bit scrubby, once again, definitely not even close to a perfect lap, but neither was the first one. Ooh, that was bad, but we're managing to keep it on the track and out of the sand. That's not going to be good for the time, but this is going to be a fast lap. We might even do better. Oh boy, what is this? 128. Goodness. So even with that scrub against the wall there, we managed to get a 128. So it is about 0.9 seconds slower than the previous Owl, even with a scrubby lap. So I think the only thing that's been proven through all of this is that my driving is inconsistent. However, I think that if you took both the Owl and the Owl RS on the track and just raced them 10 times each, and then took an average of the times, the RS would be marginally faster. So one thing that's kind of funny to consider that I was just thinking of now is that when the winner gets rebuilt, like, we're always making them better. But that means that the next season's cars have to be even better, because otherwise the winner is going to win again. Like, and then the winner wins again and then becomes better. And then the cycle continues. So it's like a huge power creep that I've kind of done here, semi-unintentional. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you've thought of this in the comments below. Thank you everybody for the support on the recent videos. Things have been looking up pretty considerably lately, which is cool to see. And I'm very encouraged to keep making these build videos. So this is the spot where that join button stuff would be, and I would say your name if you're one of the advanced supporters. But yeah, thank you to anybody who considers doing that. Even if you don't feel pressured. I'm just gonna say it in this video, maybe a few times on stream, but I won't announce it again. I just wanted to say that now.